Welcome back, everybody. I'm your host, Mazada, and this is the new normal. Now, this episode is going to be a little bit different than the ones I'm used to making, given the dark background behind me and the color shirt I'm wearing today. Usually in the new normal, I cover the news every single week. And as absurd and difficult and challenging these news might be every now and then, I always try to find the light behind it. I always try to find the humor, the satire behind it, and then I would cover it in the most satirical way possible for entertainment purposes and to make someone's day in this pandemic that's been dragging on for over 2 months now. But this week was quite different. When I was watching the news this week, honestly, everything that's been happening was tragic and heartbreaking and just completely unjust. And no matter how much anybody would want to continue a show that is about satire during this week, I could not have the heart to find a humor or the satire in the events that happened this week. I couldn't do it. It's not right. And sometimes it's important to address tragic events as tragic instead of trying to desensitize the audience or try to hide it in a different way. So most of you might know a man by the name of George Floyd was killed this week, killed in cold blood by an officer in the United States. And now the United States has erupted in riots. There's been looting and vandalizing across the streets. And the police brutality. There's a lot of police brutality that is continuing throughout the United States. The president literally shot like rubber bullets and tear gas at civilians so he can take a picture in front of a church with the Bible. And that is only a few of the tragic news that has been happening this week. And when I saw the video of George Floyd, I broke inside. I may not be a black man, but I am a human that feels the injustice and the brutality that is taken against men of color and women of color. And that's why I refused to cover these events or the riots or even the president's stupid remarks in a satirical way. And that's why I'm going to leave it at that and say that there is nothing funny about it. It is very tragic and things really need to change. Racial violence needs to end. Racial violence against black people specifically needs to end, not just in the United States, but all around the world. And I myself support that. I don't believe in violence from either side. I do believe in peaceful protesting. And I also do believe in peaceful countermeasures. And there's always a way to solve problems better than using violence. But given that, there are some good things that happened this week that I would like to cover. So I saw this video of certain police officers in different states during the protests. And they did something really heartwarming and is really supporting that movement. Let's take a look at it here.
With you. You're gonna have to help me get up now. What happened to George Floyd was wrong. It was a crime. The officers that were involved need to go to prison.
Yes.
For justice for George Floyd
Yes.
and the entire African American community. All right? We're with you.
See, that right there is a perfect example of what a lot of people around the world should be doing right now, and a lot of police officers specifically. Let go of your ego for a bit. Let go of your pride. Forget about the badge and think as a human. Now, you saw it. You bent the knee. And what did they do? Did they say, yeah, you deserve it? Yeah, you're supposed to do that? No. They applauded you. They cheered you on. They took your side and they appreciated that movement. In fact, you're not losing your ego or your pride. You're actually just supporting a group of people that really, really need the support these days, especially after the George Floyd incident. And that really makes me happy and really gives me hope that this would be the new normal instead of the normal that we have right now. And in other news, SpaceX just had a very important space launch. Just shows that people want to leave the Earth already, but I'll let you take a look at this.
Ignition. Liftoff.
With a thunderous rocket roar, America opened a new chapter in space history today. The first launch in 9 years and the first private company ever to launch NASA astronauts into space.
Well, that's one way to leave the Earth for now, but I wouldn't blame them right now. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed today's show. I know it's a little bit different, and what happened this week was very tragic. But like it or not, this won't be the new normal.